Welcome back, everyone, to the house in Fata Morgana. Here we are. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full dealing with my immediate day-to-day tasks, so I could do naught but pray there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. But I am but a mere maid. There are limits to what I'm allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads, such as the one we were following, have a way of diverging with little warning, and if you do not turn the wheel exactly right at those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. They're looking down at me? I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses. You're just going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down on me. My neck. What? I can't speak. I can't move. These cold fingers. That soft breath. What? Why? I can move my body, but that's not important right now. You smell of roses. The scent of a world far removed from ours. He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him of almost entirely of the ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word. For that moment, at least, her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower, and a continuously burning agitation that roused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? It will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise. Why? To put an end to this family. You are my only. Why are you shaking? What? Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. But he did not shout, nor did he tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a concerned cornered rabbit. I am not shaking. You are. I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice too grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You are not doing this because you genuinely want to. There is some other reason. This is what I desire. Have you been to my room before? You have. I'm sorry. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point you would be willing to take my life with your own hands? No. No, I don't. See? Like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me why. Why is it? I am sorry. I will not leave your room now. I will do my best not to bother you any further, but please forget anything ever happened. Do you think I'm just going to say, okay, and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason? I'm sorry. Alright, then I'll try and guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow. Am I right? I thought so. How do you know about that? The priest at the church told me he had seen you before. He also told me a little about your origin. But that's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please, tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came to this mansion and why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you or have you punished. I'll even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisks you away. I want to be like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hands around your neck. Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. If you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then, well, I'll just have to live with that, as much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options. Things we can do about your... No, that's not it. Huh? I've tried to hate you so many times. So yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. He spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious, looking down on him, that it seemed as though if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling, like she had tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes affixed on hers, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you. But I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please, tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mal. Of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched for just the briefest of moments. It appeared in the darkness as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently that we heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People People often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting. So after living in one place for long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, but he had trouble finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer able to find work in a city, we would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. This is when we learned of Rose Manor, and the family who dwelled within it. Rhodes is a name my father could never forget. He was long ago a painter in service of the Rhodes family. Hold on. Your father was an artist here? Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So you knew about us before you came here. For as long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as a good reputation spreads, so too does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. You nobles throw your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you try to give me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. He was a talent. His was a talent that could not be easily imitated, but no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father. But even thrown out onto the streets, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we had for food he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it's not his fault I look like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagined you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. No, you wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you. And so I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me. In truth, I'd wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so... You're right. If they lost me, it would put my family in a very difficult position. That is the whole of my tale. You now know about my father and how I feel about you. Having told you of the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection. Not only because I'm not aristocratic, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. Would that your father were still alive, perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Because If it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised is not the right word. as in many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. Well, that was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was. But I had never met any of you before, so she must simply be that kind-hearted a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness, despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? But it was a certain fact that my father was here, and that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life, to put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then, you were too kind to me. It's all your fault. Because you laugh with such affection. Because you give me smiles like that. Because you say the things you say. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. I'm happy to hear that. Despite the unusual circumstances. Please don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so dearly. You're far too kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course. I don't understand. How could you possibly say that? I have my hands around your neck even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough for me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all of that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. You are such an aristocrat, Lord Mal. What? The way you can come up with compliments so easily. Only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. Puts me to sleep. You laughed. Thank goodness. Ah. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own futures. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor so we don't have to stand. They would be pretty lavish seats, and it would give you a chance to experience the noble life. But please don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with black hair. She kind of scares me, though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That's how it has to be. So stand by my side. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time, she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped his arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever been. She was already a very pretty girl, so even without much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that if it would lead to her happiness, I could not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. No, Nellie, you love the theater, so don't look so cross. Nellie was out with a man other than her brother that evening, a rare sight indeed, and she was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. Oh yeah, she hates Arthur, doesn't she? I forgot she mentioned she hated him at her party. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiancé, selected by her parents. Oh man, that's turn that down. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in this matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. And oh, how fiercely she had fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in a room and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to, for what it's worth. What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet. It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours or mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? Oh, the play is amazing. Shut up, dude. Romeo and Juliet's a masterpiece. It may be private, but even so. I would rather just have a show put on at my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I? Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to Father as many times as I must. Please don't make such a scene. It's shameful. There are people around, remember? You represent your family. Besides, our families are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't. Your parents gave you too much freedom, and look what spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on a high horse, Nellie. You are going to be my wife. You could at least put some effort into liking me. Damn. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie. What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll gladly call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damn princess. Open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try. I doubt he'll have it, though. Otherwise, you can just go complain about it to your friends. Oh, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough! As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know. If Father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come on now, your favorite play is about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Joy while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. That's right. What? Is that? Wait, Nellie. Get back here. What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. Father will be sure to hear about this. I cannot have the roads making any more a fool of me. Oh yeah, that's right. The theater. Oh, fine, don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me. That's a beautiful dress. Wow, I like that. I think the yellow looks good on her. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you that's not the case. It is true you have an unusual appearance, but right now the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. sound like a prince, Lord Mel. What? You think so? I mean, I did say it'd be a stand-in prince for you. Nelly's gonna be so pissed. Nelly? I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Oh. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... No, you're supposed to say, yes, I am. There. You're gonna make me sad. I guess I'll just have to keep working at it until you submit. Until you submit? Jeez, man. Maybe use a little different phrase of wording. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. It's Romeo and Juliet. I've heard it's good. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there's one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you, like, maybe wake me up? Ah. No. What? Uh-oh. Things are gonna go bad. I'm sorry, I have to clear my throat. Ugh. If I sound weird, my throat's like blocked up or something. Dearest Mel. Oh shit. Nelly, what are you doing here? Dearest Mel, why are you... You know, you think we would know that she was gonna go out, right? You think we would have known she would have been here. What are you doing here? I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. It is. It absolutely is. How many times did I ask you to come with me? You wouldn't. You don't even like theater, dearest Mel, and you brought her? You're right, I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why are you making such a big deal out of this, Nellie? She's not suitable for you. What? She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy, and you have no idea where she came from. Don't talk about her like that, Nellie. But you don't even know where her family is. I do. What? Lord Mel. It's fine, you just stay quiet. Like the other maid, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what house that is. No, you're lying. That can't be. But she doesn't act like a lady. She lacks etiquette, and she probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her is from a good house? Enough already, Nellie. No, you yelled at me. You have my word. You don't have to worry about her. So please stay out of this, Nellie. It isn't any of your business if I spend time with her, is it? But dearest Mel... You need to stop hanging over me, Nellie, and find someone for... Wait. What are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone? Oh yes, dearest Mel, about that. I have a favor to ask of you. I've been waiting to talk to you about this since yesterday, but I haven't seen you at all. Settle down, Nellie. What is it? Father had me engaged without consulting me, and he picked Arthur, that disagreeable girl. Oh, right, that. I already know. What? You knew? I heard it from Father. That reminds me, you didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now, it was because of your engagement. Dearest Mel. Is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back with him, rather than waste any more time with us. You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel, so why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it? Because it's your time, Nellie. This is what we do. If there's someone else you'd rather be with, then, well, you can try persuading Father, but... You're the only prince for me, dearest Mel. And your prince always grants his princess's wishes. Doesn't he? I just want you to say you'll do that for me, dearest Mel. But, Lady Nellie, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played little tricks on him. I warned you about this rat deer smell. She is not suitable for... I told you I had enough already. Ooh. How much longer are you going to continue acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive to someone else? Mel hit me. Lord Mel. Go on, the show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Return to your betrothed. Now. I will apologize to him afterwards as well. You said you'd always be by my side. That you'd always be my prince. The time for make-believe is past, Nellie. Oh. No, I refuse to believe it. I will not have it. Nellie! My goodness, that girl. Are you not going to go after her, Lord Mel? No, just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she'd start acting a little more like an adult. I imagine Lady Nellie simply... She what? No, it just wasn't my intention to get between you. Well, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault we had an argument. But you two are so close. Well, yeah, we're siblings, so we're close, but nothing more. I do care about Nellie, and I enjoy spending time with her. But she's my sister, nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. I apologize. No, I imagine she left her betrothed behind without saying anything, so I'm going to go apologize to him. We have to keep up appearances, after all. Stay here, I'll be right back. Very well. Master? What are your thoughts of the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right, Master? The brother, the sister? The brother, for sure. Let's be honest. She wanted to marry her brother or something, it seems like. You know, and that's just not realistic. And, like, I don't know, because they had to marry, like, outside of the family, right? And she was being a child about a lot of things. She didn't want to grow up. That was the biggest problem. Mel was ready to move on. He was ready to grow up and find someone to care for. And, you know, it was her time to do it, too. I mean, yeah, being forced to marry someone sucks. But, I mean, she really had no say in it. So, she just kind of had to suck it up, right? Oh my, I apologize for the abrupt question. Did I startle you? What do I think? Yes, I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel had anticipated, Nellie fled from the theater, leaving her fiancé behind. She forced her way into a carriage stopped outside, probably one called for a different nobleman, and ordered it to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return to was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set, and as a young lady, she could not simply go wandering through town alone. Nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was, in essence, composed of two elements, her brother and the Rose Garden. They were the light of her life at Rose Manor. She lived a very isolated existence. When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight into her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of her sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the levees. Tears streamed through her cracked walls of the dams blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the day she had redecorated played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar. That liar! She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftwork, silver plates designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases, all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been set loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against the painting hanging on the wall, spraying water, porcelain, and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly, of her and her brother. And in what appeared to her like a metaphor for her life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing to the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very image of happiness, inseparable siblings gently holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, that image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. And the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and the kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either. You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. I believed you would always be there for me. This painting, it's nothing but a lie. That's not the real Mel. That's not the real me. It's all a big fat lie. A lie. I wish this painting never existed. It was never made. That I never had a brother. This painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she once considered precious. She put more force into her fingers than she or perhaps anyone might have ever imagined she could. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time she noticed something peculiar. Huh? What is this? Writing? Something's hidden beneath the paint? A little more. A date? Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? Completed May 1587. 1587? She read aloud the faded, scratched up handwriting. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face began to drain. What is this? How could this have been painted 16 years ago? I wasn't even born yet then, and Mel would have just been a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? But there's still more writing. Urged on by her rapidly pounding heart, Nellie fiercely scratched away at the painting. Even as her clean pink fingernails were soiled with fragments of paint and blood, she did not stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation that she could not stop. She had a horrible premonition that something was about to happen, something indescribable, incomprehensible. This is how I envision your son and our unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and our unborn daughter. So this was a painting of the future. Then it really is of me and Mal. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I would not have even been inside Mother. But then who was this? Because they would have known they had a kid then, let alone a daughter. Who was that holding Mel's hand? Actually, back then, did they even have a way of determining sex of the child before I was born? I don't think so. Who was that with my brother? More. Oh, there has to be. Ow. Found it. There's more writing. I have to know what this is. Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked up over. I'm sure it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child... This is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. And so I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though it is a sin to wish she has in her a trace of me. I do hope it is a girl. What am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me, what does this mean? A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color? Sin? I do hope it's a girl?